Hey guys, why don't you have friends? What is wrong with you?
To find out, let's go through every stage of life, see how our circle of friends change as we get older, and why keeping a real friend today feels more impossible than when we were kids. Starting with age 5. You're wondering why a 5-year-old is opening the door by himself? Mind your business. Y'all remember how it was like to make friends as a kid? It was like breathing air, natural. We ain't think about it too hard either. As a 5-year-old, what did you look for in a friend? Shared values? Mutual political beliefs? No, dumb. Crayons. Unironically, a kid passing you a crayon in class was a sign of brotherhood. Y'all have to die for each other now. That's the rules. That being said, proximity and friendship went hand in hand when we were kids. You ain't really go out to choose your friends. They were just kind of there. That kid you just met at the playground that one time? Friend. The kid you sat next to in class because both of your last names started with the same letter? Friend. The neighborhood kid your mom keeps inviting over because she wants to get closer with the neighbors and she thinks it'd be pretty cool for y'all to get to know each other better. Who you think is kind of weird, but it's okay because he likes Beyblade and, Beyblade's pretty cool. Yeah, he's your friend now, I guess. This was the building block for your entire social development. Your first friends in childhood were literally your first venture into a relationship outside of your family. It serves as the best way to develop your social skills and emotional awareness because now you have to consider someone else's feelings outside of your own. But here's the problem. None of your friends are loyal. Crazy part about being, 5 is that you don't care about deep interpersonal connection or finding people who understand you. Nah, bro, our relationships, at least in the beginning, were surface level at best. A lot of your friend circle was based on who was fun to be around, who seemed nice to talk to when you're bored, who liked the same things you did, who could take a headshot by a Nerf gun and not cry about it like a little punk. All your friends were based off convenience. And as such, this was likely the point in our lives where we had the highest number of people we would call a friend. But you know what's crazy? The easier it was to make friends as a kid, the easier they were to lose. Sometimes all it took was moving up a grade or switching classes in school to lose touch with the friends you made. It sucks, but for your 5-year-old brain, it shouldn't be too hard to find new people to play with. It's not like you grew a strong bond with them anyway. And speaking of bonds, you're a teenager now, and your entire viewpoint on life has flipped on its head since the last 10 years. Surprise, surprise, you actually care about your friends as people now and not just a body to play with. You also grew a couple feet, so, that's pretty cool. But the thing that grew the most was our desire for identity and belonging. For some reason, as an adolescent, you care way more about what other people think of you than you did as a kid. Probably because you're developing something psychology calls the imaginary audience, where you believe you're constantly being watched and judged by other people. When you do something embarrassing at school and for the rest of the day you get the feeling people are staring and making fun of you, although they probably thought about it for like 30 seconds and then moved on. Yeah, imagine that, but feeling that every day from ages 10 to infinity. It's a critical step in our cognitive development to go from self-centered toddlers to hormonal teenagers. Around this time, your brain starts to react to social rejection in a similar way as it does to physical pain, which is crazy. Because if you remember from our hunter-gatherer days, getting rejected from your group guaranteed your death. So in today's terms, being accepted by your peers feels crucial. It's crucial for our identity, more importantly. You're still figuring out who you are, and your friends reflect who you think you could be. You make your friends laugh, and now you start to think that you're funny. You start to mimic their slang, their style, their taste, their opinions. Not in a, I'm going to copy your personality bar for bar type of way, but playing with different versions of yourself to see what feels right. At this point in life, most of your new friends came from school, so proximity still plays a role, but at least this time, in between classes, you're more selective of who you choose to hang out with. Unlike your 5-year-old self, you actually care about other people's interests, what they like, how similar they are to you. And this is great and all, but there's still a massive problem when it comes to teenage friendships. And you know what's funny? It's not even about the teenagers. It's about the parents. Mom, Dad, listen up. Your kids are going to want to spend more time with their friends now than they ever will with you. And that's just a natural part of life. I'm sure it sucks for the parents, but seeking independence is something the human brain desires in this stage of life. Leaving the nest, so to speak, wanting autonomy from your parents, and being influenced by peers you choose to be around. Some may argue a little bit too influenced. There is such a thing about caring too much about what your friends think, but I guess that's an issue for another time because...
Great.
You're 25 now!
How you doing, guys? Doing good. It's been so long, man. It's been a while.
Congrats, you're old enough to drink. Hip hip hooray! But hold your horses, bucko, because the last 10 years were some of the most transformative and character-developing years when it comes to friendships you came to know and love. 17, 18. You know those high school friends you've cherished for the past 4 years? Gone! Why? Because you all graduated, pursuing different careers, off to college. You probably tried to coordinate it where all your friends declare the same universities so you can stay together longer, but face it, a lot of your friends have different dreams and goals than you. They might have moved out of your city, but even if they stayed, they're so much busier at their new college or job that you don't nearly spend as much time as you used to with each other. You tried to make the long distance friendship thing work, calling frequently, texting in the group chat as often as possible. You coordinate schedules to link up as much as you can, but over time, you start calling less, the group chat isn't as active as it used to be, and you haven't seen each other in person in over 2 semesters. You begin to realize that the proximity of seeing them at school every day was the main thing keeping you all together. That maybe, although you still like them, the friendship you once shared wasn't as deep as you thought, and the effort to keep it together just isn't worth it anymore. You've learned the painful realization that not all friendships are built to last. And that lesson more or less stuck with you until age 25. At this point, you likely started your career, or at least a job that you don't hate. You either moved from your hometown already, or if you stayed, the people there now are nowhere close to being the same people you knew growing up. When it comes to friendships, you're a bit more understanding of life's challenges than you were at 15. There's no need to text or call or see each other every day because you can't. And you learn over time to not mind that. Let's be clear, this is nowhere close to being the busiest you'll ever be in your life, so you'll still somewhat manage to stay in touch with the relationships that you care about. The biggest difference being you're now more intentional with who you choose to spend time with more than you were 10 years ago. Now, don't get me wrong, it does suck that you can't see your friends as often as you used to, but you learn to be okay with it as long as those friends are real. It's no longer enough just to have people that are fun to hang out with after school or on weekends. Now you want people you can trust, someone you can confide in with your most personal secrets without fear of judgment. People who understand you, get you, care about the same things you do, share the same values. I guess what you lose in quantity, you make up for in quality.
Jay, we already knew that about you. I got married into, man.
Speak of the devil. Now you're 35.
Hey guys, please stop. I have so much work to have to get done. I'm busy. I'm really busy. Please, you cannot be here. Thank you for coming here, but no, I can't hang out right now. Bye. See you guys later.
Yeesh. Anyways, you're in a different stage of life than you were 10 years ago. At this age, there's a high likelihood you would have had your first kid by now. Or cat. You know, whatever floats your boat. You may be married or in a committed relationship or just have a cat. Nothing wrong with being single, of course. You may even have your first house or apartment or still live with your parents. I mean, trust me, I get it. Times are crazy. But at least you still have your cat. You're about a decade or so out of college. Your friend circle is looking a little lighter than how it was 10 years ago. And school was usually the place you made friends for most of your life. But now that that's gone, you gotta be a bit more creative. You could be friends with the other parents at your child's school, you know. Pretty easy to at least build a casual connection. You all pick up your kids at the same time anyway. Oh, your job, right? 40 plus hours a week will force you to get close to somebody. Time is stretched thin at 35 when it comes to friends, new and old. And if you thought you had a lot of things going on at 25, I mean, Yikes. Career, parenthood, bills, newfound health issues, other responsibilities, and life crises that never even crossed your mind 10 years ago. You'd be lucky to find time for yourself, let alone with friends and loved ones. But there lies the biggest change between you at 25 and you at 35. The time you have for friendships may be shorter, but your dependence on them deepens. Life at 35 can get heavy, sure, and having some sort of support system around you is more important than you realize. For your mental health especially, burnout, stress of parenthood, marriage drama, right? Divorce. It's one thing to go through these issues, but going through them by yourself? Even just one good friend, even if they can actually help you out, having someone there you can talk to, express your problems, particularly someone around your age who can relate, is infinitely more valuable than you realize for your mental health. At this age, friendship is more of an anchor, you would say. You care more about keeping relationships around that keep you grounded as life shifts and ebbs and flows, seeking relatability and people who can help you navigate adult life over a surface level connection.
You ripped ass for sure, I can tell you that.
And as you get older, those connections only get deeper. Oh yeah, you're 45 years old now, by the way, in case that wasn't clear. You're older, your parents are older and hopefully still around. You likely have a more established family of your own. You're deeper into your career. If you had kids in your late 20s, they're teenagers now. Oh, this may be a good time to mention that friends come and go in every stage of life. You can still meet new people at 45, of course, but it looks different now. You're likely not actively looking for new friends right now, and if you meet new people, it's probably not from intentional effort. And chances are, you more or less settled into your core group of people that you rely on. The biggest difference for this age compared to previous years is that a lot of the friendships you have now are based on the shared history you have with each other. Because you're old. I'm talking friendships that lasted 10, 15, 20 plus years or more. It's a privilege, though, to still have friendships that last that long. Main reason being is that these are the people that saw you grow through different stages of your life, and they grew with you. They knew you before your current life turmoil and responsibilities, and they'll likely know you after. But that's what's most important to you at this age anyways. You know, life is busy. Duh, that goes without saying. So if you're going to invest your time with someone, you want it to be with people who are worth it. Y'all ever catch up with old friends after a long time? I'm talking about months, maybe even years since y'all caught up in person. Remember how good it feels to finally see each other again after so long, but somehow also feels like no time has passed at all? Yeah, prepare to feel like that a lot in your 40s. Sure, you want to prioritize the relationships that matter to you in your life. However, between growing kids, aging parents, marriage, career, life turbulence you couldn't see coming, majority of the people you've come to call a friend have been put on the back burner for the sake of life's growing responsibilities. Well, except for a select few. Age 65. But Tyreek, are we not going to do age 55? No. Get up, OG. Time to get a step into this new stage of life. At this point, you should be at or nearing the point of retirement. Should, meaning now you're at a stage where you have significantly more time than you've had in the past 40 years. How do you occupy the extra time you've been given? I mean, I don't know, I guess go out for a walk with a friend or something. Your roles in life have shifted. You likely just became an empty nester. Parents are much older than you like them to be, if they're still around. So the friends you've kept at this age serve to fill the newfound emotional gaps life has brought you. Your friends more or less become your chosen family, especially if you lost your own. You likely still have people around that you've known for decades, right? People who've seen you at your lowest point in life, people who've seen you grieve, people who've helped you when you needed it the most. There is a level of comfort in that emotional security, knowing that you have each other's back and the evidence that's shown that throughout the decades. When you were younger, a lot of the fun you had with friends were probably pre-planned and a lot more elaborate. But now, what really matters is that you're still with a good friend that cherishes you. It actually almost doesn't matter what you have going on as long as you just spend time together. It's also important to note that your friend circle is also significantly smaller than how it was in your early life. Sure, you might have a lot of acquaintances, but true close friends? Yeah, that circle's been cut down throughout the years. I mean, good news is you no longer have to be someone that you're not to impress new people for the sake of, let's say, growing your network or status. Nah, sometimes only having one good friend to share your life with is all you need. I mean, they basically became a part of your life routine. You couldn't abandon them if you tried. Oh, I mean, you could, but who else would you be able to act like an idiot with in public? Your wife? Well, you're 75 now. Let's see what changed. Your hair got gray. Yep, that's to be expected. A lot of your time now is spent enjoying nature for some reason. You know, pretty cool, I guess. Your gosh darn knee's been hurting you the past 15 years. Arthritis finally caught up to you, OG. Well, what can we say now about your life that hasn't already been said? You've been retired for some time now. Kids are fully grown with their own kids. You see your grandbabies as much as you can. Your parents have passed on, have been for a while. You miss them, but you hold on strong to the family you've built now. These are your golden years, and you're realizing you're knocking on the door to the end of your life as well. Family members, friends, people you've had in your life for decades, those you cherish are perishing as well. You grieve their loss, as that's another reminder of your own morality. However, those loved ones who are still alive, those friends, those are the ones you cherish the most. Although shrinking, your current friend circle has a profound shared history. They've literally seen you through it all, as you have with them. Sure, if you're in a nursing home, facility, or frequent a place often, you could make new friends even at this old age, but chances are you don't really care about that at all. In this age of grief, loss, and deteriorating life, the friends you choose to keep around you help fill a void that no other relationship can. Sure, the bond you have with your kids are dear. The bond you have with your spouse is irreplaceable. But the bond you have with a good friend lasts a lifetime.